Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. We're going to get started here shortly. We'll go over some live rates here today, and we'll do a deep dive into low down payment loans. Give us just a second here to go live on all the different platforms. We got the chat up there on the screen. Feel free to drop a comment there in the chat as you tune in. We appreciate those of you tuning in nice and early. All right, it looks like we're live on all the different platforms, so we'll go ahead and get it started. We're going to take the chat off the screen for now, but you can keep dropping comments there in the chat. You can drop any questions you have in the chat as well. So welcome, everyone. My name is Kyle Hershey. I am the COO of the Mortgage Calculator, joined here by our president, Nick Hershey, and our sales manager, Jose Gonzalez. We are a lender that specializes in non-QM loans. And what we do every morning on this show at 11 a.m. Eastern is go through our live mortgage rates, and then we do a deep dive into a different loan topic. Today's topic is going to be loan down payment loans. So Jose has multiple options here for some low down payment loans that we'll go over. But before we do that, let's go over the rates. So Nick, if you're ready, let's go ahead and pull up the rates and see what they're looking like today.
All right, just refreshing my screen to see if we had any updates here, as the rates are going down pretty much across the board, which we love to see. So I'll share my screen here in a second. We're going to check out all of the live mortgage rates for our general programs. Those are live here. It's just after 11 a.m. Eastern on May 16th. So we're going to compare all the different programs we have here using the same scenario. We're going to do a $500,000 purchase price, $400,000 loan amount. That's 80% loan to value, 20% down payment. We're going to set all the demos to a 760 FICO score, credit score, and all the demos will be set at a 40% debt to income ratio. And for our DSCR demos, we use a 1.5 DSCR value for those. Now, if you'd like a full loan estimate that breaks down all the itemized fees that go into the APR here, please get with our team members. We have over 300 loan officers to help you out. But let's go ahead and share the screen, which will show all of our general options and the APR. Here we go. All right. So first up is our most common option, 30-year fixed conventional primary. This is the most common option for most people looking for a primary home, most common option that you see in the news, etc. So today that comes in at 6.49, final APR at 6.790. So again, just a few days ago, we were up over 7% on the APR. Definitely some good news as the rates are dropping pretty rapidly here. Now, if for any reason our customer doesn't qualify for a conventional option, typically the next option we want to present is an FHA option. FHA allows more leniency on credit issues, as well as a higher debt to income ratio. So for FHA today, we're coming in at 5.625 rate, final APR 6.594, and that does include all the upfront and yearly mortgage insurance that is required for FHA. So if we compare here, if our customer qualifies for both, FHA might be a touch cheaper, so definitely don't overlook that if you qualify for both. And if our customer needs to use FHA because of the leniency, this is a great option. It's almost identical to conventional here in this case, so a great option for our borrowers that need it. And our other government option here, our VA programs are only eligible for our active service members and veterans that are eligible. If you do have that eligibility, these options are amazing. So 30-year fixed VA today comes in at 5.75 rate, final APR 6.067. Hopefully we see that drop below 6 here later today. Amazing options for our vets, as definitely a thank you for their service. Now, if for any reason our property is in a USDA area, those properties are eligible for USDA programs. So only if they're in those USDA, typically rural areas, can they use this program. But it's a great option if it is. For USDA, it comes in at 5.75%, final APR at 6.5%. So that APR does include all of the fees. So we'll typically want to compare across programs here. Typically, most customers looking in a USDA area would probably be looking to compare an FHA or a conventional example. So notice the APR is lower for USDA than conventional and FHA, also some other bonuses for the USDA program. So if your property is in one of those areas, definitely check out that program to see if it works. Now we'll get into the stuff that we love here at the Mortgage Calculator. So if our customers don't qualify for any of the conventional or government options that we just went over, most other banks or lenders will have to deny that customer. They don't have other options. we have over 5,000 additional options here under non-QM. So first option here is our non-QM alt doc for a primary home, which we would compare to a conventional primary typically. So if our customer doesn't qualify conventional, they need to use alternative documents, this would be the option. Alt doc includes things like bank statement loans, 1099 loans, asset related loans, all kinds of different options that we have. This is probably a bank statement option. That's the lowest option, coming in at 6.999 today. Final APR 7.344. So remember yesterday I said that these non-QM rates are going to be coming down slowly this week. We already see some action here, which is great, as yesterday it was up over 7. So when we compare across the programs here, we're still within about a half a point of conventional, which is typically where we see the non-QM. So if our customers don't qualify for any reason, need to use alternative documents, non-QM comes in at about 0.5 more cost, which is great for our borrowers that need it. And now we'll get into our investment property options. First up is our 30-year fixed non-QM alt doc. So again, probably a bank statement option for our investors out there. Rates come in at 7.5%. Final APR 7.860 for our investment properties. Now we'll compare that to our other investment property options. First up, the most common option, a conventional. Remember, government programs, USDA, VA, FHA do not work for investment properties, but we do have our conventional agency option coming in at 7.375 rate, final APR 7.726. So notice it's a touch cheaper than bank statement today to go conventional, but always recommend our investors check out our favorite programs, which is the DSCR. No employment, no income, no documentation needed on that. We simply use the estimated rents to determine a DSCR value. The estimated rents on the appraisal can cover the expenses, aka the property cash flows monthly. That's a ratio over 1, which is preferred. We have options for under 1, but for a demo here, we always put 1.5 so we can see all the programs pop up and see the best options. So this first one is our DSCR with a 3-year prepayment penalty and a 1.5 ratio, as I mentioned. Rates come in at 7.25, final APR 7.573. So beating conventional with DSCR, absolutely amazing. Now to make it even better, we have some DSCR options that allow a 5-year prepayment penalty to improve the rate even more. So for a 5-year prepay, that comes in today at 6.875 rate, final APR 7.214. And as I said yesterday, I expect these DSCR rates to drop here as the markets for the other programs have dropped recently as well. So hopefully we see some changes here tomorrow or the next day. And the final option for DSCR is an option with no prepayment penalty. So some investors don't want a prepayment penalty. No problem. The rates are just a little higher here. 7.75% rate. APR comes in at 8.115. So notice that's a little more expensive than conventional for our investors. So always recommend our investors check out the options with the prepayment penalty to sweeten the deal. And now moving on to our other cool non-QM options, our 30-year fixed second mortgage option. So not a HELOC. This is a 30-year fixed second mortgage. We've done a few episodes on these if you want to check out more info on the program. But these options are great for our customers that don't want to touch their first mortgage and don't want a variable HELOC at higher rates. These rates are much lower. So we can offer for primary homes rates as low as 8.625 and a final APR of 9.045. And for our investors to use the same program to get cash out of their properties. They don't want to refinance the first mortgage, get cash with a second mortgage with the fixed rate program, 9.875 rate, final APR 10.170. So those are the standard options we always do in our live demo. Of course, there's thousands more variations, but that's where we refer to Jose to go over our deep dive topics. Let me change the screen again. And today we're going to be talking about low down payment options. So I mentioned the VA options, USDA options, all of the government options that do have some very cool low down payments, but Jose probably has a couple other tricks up his sleeve as well. When we do the live demos, we do standard 20% down. Not all programs allow lower down, so it's not something we can compare easily across programs, but thankfully, Jose has pulled up all our options today. So Jose, let's talk about what you got, and then let's check out some live rates.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Daily Mortgage Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Yes, that is correct, Nick. I have the basic option that I'm going to share, but then I do have some outside the box options to get to those high LTVs that we offer at the Mortgage Calculator. So our first option here is our standard VA loan, always 100% LTV, never any mortgage insurance for the VA loans. There is a VA funding fee unless your service member has a service-related disability, at least 10% service-related disability, then they will be exempt from the funding fee. That's really important to note because that funding fee is over 2% of the loan balance. So this scenario here, 7.125 has a lender credit, and you can buy that down to 5.875. Don't know how that other 7.25 got in there, folks, but it is 5.875 is our lowest rate option. 7.125 is our lowest cost option for our VA loans. Now, VA loans are for active military, retired military or veterans, and their spouses. So a spouse of a deceased veteran can also take advantage of VA loan benefits. And our USDA rural area loan also offers 100% LTV financing. We have 6.75 is our lowest cost option with a lender credit, which is great. Throw that in there to help with the borrower closing costs at a great rate like 6.75. And you can buy that down all the way to 5.875%. Seeing improvement. Gotta love it. So now we go to our 97. Those were our 100% LTV options. Now we have our 97% options. First one I'm sharing with you, that was last night's training. Topic was the Fannie Mae Home Ready loan, which is an affordable / community loan option. So this is not restricted to first-time home buyers. Just wanted to make that point out, even though it is a very popular first-time home buyer option because it has reduced MI and lower rates than the traditional 97% LTV option that is only for first-time home buyers. But this one does have an income restriction. You have to be at or below 80% of the area median income unless the property is in a low to moderate income or minority census tract. So in this scenario here, 6.875 is our lowest cost option at par, and you can buy that down to 6.125% for our Fannie Mae Home Ready option, 97% LTV. Then we have our Freddie Mac affordable, and that is Home Possible option, and the rates are the same in this option. 6.875 lowest cost option, 6.125 lowest rate option. Sometimes you see a 1/10 of a point difference between Home Possible and Home Ready, but the reason you would choose one or the other really is not due to the rate, but rather the guidelines. There is a little bit of a difference, and you'll see in tonight's show when we go over Home Possible tonight. There's a few differences in FICO requirements as well as how they treat certain property types. So now our standard 97% LTV purchase loan, which is only for first-time home buyers. This is not an affordable option. So you will note rate is a little bit higher. 6.875 in this example costs 0.75 of a point versus the Home Ready and Home Possible option. It was at par, costing 0. So save your borrower $3,638. If you use Home Possible, Home Ready, if they qualify for Home Possible or Home Ready, let's put it that way. A little bit higher MI in this example as well, by like $30. Now our FHA purchase loan, 96.5% LTV, maximum LTV for all FHA purchases. 6.625 has a lender credit. You see FHA is a little bit better there. than the 3% down option in rate. And you can buy that down all the way to 5.625. Wow, I haven't seen that number around in a while. So this is our FHA 96.5%. So now I did tell you I was going to have some outside the box nuggets for you, right? There's a lot of different ways to reach high LTV. That's why we got to think outside the box. Now, this happens to be our national down payment assistance option. What's cool about this option is neither the MLO has to be approved to offer it by, due to any special course. Neither the company has to be approved because our investors are approved with it, right? They're offering it, so we can offer it. This is a national program with no local or state or county restrictions either. It's available to anybody. This is also real important. This is the key. This is also not a first-time home buyer only option. Everybody that qualifies with their income and their credit is able to take advantage of this amazing down payment option. This is very similar to a lot of those special programs you see out there that you got to apply for and get approved for, separate from applying and getting approved for the loan, right? Just for the program to participate. So no time lost with this option. This is just apply for the loan. We take care of the down payment assistance application. Very good. And with the rates the way that they're moving downward now, we actually get good low-cost options. Now, I would also state this one is a forgivable option. So in other words, here I have here 100% LTV purchase with FHA, FHA with down payment assistance. So it's 96.5% FHA loan, 3.5% of the purchase price is the down payment assistance, which in this case is a forgivable. I mean, you don't have to pay. It means it's at the end of 60 payments made. If the loan is still current, the loan is wiped out, right? Plus, there's no payments made on this second loan, regardless, during the life of the loan. But the main idea here is be current on your first mortgage so that by the time you get to payment number 60, they will eliminate this second mortgage. That's critical there. So our lowest cost option here is 8.75, but you can buy it down all the way to 7.5%. Now, usually with the DPA, the person isn't going to buy it all the way down and pay 2.375 points because that sort of defeats the purpose in a way, but the 8.75 or the 8.65, not a bad option for that, considering it is a forgivable option, right? So this is the forgivable at 100% combined, right? Now we have a little sweeter deal with a little lower rate. However, this case, the assistance is repayable, right? So in this case, we have actually 101.5% LTV on this purchase, which is an FHA loan at 96.5%. And then we combine this with 5% of the sales price assistance that can be used for down payment and closing costs. That's a lot of dough, right? Now, this down payment assistance is a repayable second mortgage, 9.99% interest rate, 30-year amortization, and it is due in 10 years or after 120 payments. After 120 payments, the loan has to be paid off. Typically, by then, you will probably have refinanced out of the FHA first mortgage and have refinanced this repayable second mortgage into a new lower interest loan, right? But by then, you have equity. You're not going to have any mortgage insurance. You're going to have a lower rate, and everything's going to work out for you. The whole idea is to be able to get the property, because if you can't get into the property, none of this really matters. And with 5% of the sales price and down payment assistance, you could cover your closing costs. And on a $300,000 purchase, you could have another $4,000 or $5,000 to assist with your closing costs. Maybe get a little seller contribution on top of that, because there is no restriction still, if you use this program, you can still get seller contribution as well. And you could potentially have a cashless transaction. So that's pretty cool right there. And now you will also notice here, since this is repayable, the rates are lower. So 7.75 is our lowest cost option at almost par, which sounds like a real sweet one, because it probably doesn't really make sense to pay 2 points or pay 1.625 points more to buy it down to 7 if you're thinking about down payment assistance and saving money. So this is a great option, 101.5% loan to value. And then the last option here, the mind blower, right? We can actually combine all of these down payment assistance options, and I haven't shown you all of them, but we have a 3.5 like I showed you, forgivable. We have a 3.5 repayable. We have a 3%, a 4%, and a 5% assistance option. So in this scenario here, I have the USDA loan, because we can actually combine this program with USDA as well as FHA. Not VA, but USDA and FHA. So here you can have 100% LTV financing with your USDA first mortgage and get 3.5% of the sales price as a forgivable down payment assistance or closing cost assistance, whatever you want to consider it. So if it's, for example, your $300,000 sale, 3.5%, you should hopefully be able to cover the closing there with $10,500, more or less, right? So very good option here. The rates we're looking at, 8.75 is our lowest cost option, and you can buy that down all the way to 7.625 for a cost of 2.25 points. So very good options here. This would be really sweet. For example, also, if you combine it, let's say, with the repayable 4% or 5% option is also good, because then you could cover everything. If your closing costs are a little bit higher, maybe it's a lower valued property, so the 5% is only going to be $8,000, $9,000. Try to cover that closing. Cashless transaction, you can always refinance down the road. So here, up to 103% LTV, and you can actually take this up to 105% if you go with the full 5% option. So look to the mortgage calculator for your high LTV purchase loans.
All right. Thank you, Jose. So it looks like we do have a question here. The question is, Jose, were the DPA loans you mentioned for single family homes only, or should it be used for 2 to 4 units as well?
Oh, that's a great question. Now for USDA, it's going to be 1 unit, but that's a USDA guideline. Now for FHA, it's 2 units. They max it out. So you can get a duplex with FHA, with DPA. But there is an adjustment. There is going to be a loan level price adjustment there. They're going to charge you, I can't remember if it's a half a point or a point if you want to use the DPA to purchase a 2-unit property.
Okay, another question here just came in. The question is, since FHA is brokered, does the DPA come from third party, or do we have our exclusive lender investor?
Well, it is a third party product, but it is not, you don't have to go like with 2 submissions, right? It's one submission to the FHA lender that is participating in that national program, and everything is handled because the file is submitted that way from the beginning. It is set up as a down payment assistance loan, and it gets handled in one shot. So it's not like it's going to get approved by the FHA underwriter, then it has to go to a separate entity and take another 30 days or anything like that. They got it streamlined. So one application for the whole process.
Okay. I don't see any other questions, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Remember, 11 a.m. Eastern every weekday, we do this show where we go through the live rates and do a deep dive into a different loan topic. So We'll be back tomorrow with a new topic. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the next episode of Daily Rates Live with the Mortgage Calculator. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.